Good evening. Thank you for taking your time. I am here to present to you my recommendations regarding how technology can impact athletic performance to push a team towards winning the overall prize, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. It is important to acknowledge from the beginning that adding technology alone will not guarantee winning the Super Bowl or even an appearance in the penultimate game. While the technology recommended here today can be used by any NFL team, today's presentation has been created with the Kansas City Chiefs Football Club in mind. So let's jump in. Let's start with a little about me, your presenter. My name is Ashley Galt, and I am currently a graduate student at American University. I am pursuing my Master of Science in Sports Analytics and Management. As a former athlete, I have seen firsthand the impact of great athletic performance as well as athletic performance that has left a lot to be desired. The competitive drive that fueled me as an athlete now is being used to help organizations achieve their goals. Here is how we will be spending our time together. We will start with an executive summary of the opportunity before us, share some definitions, and then follow up with the overall focus of the project. We will then provide a brief overview of the Kansas City Chiefs Football Club, followed by an overview of how the technology works. We will then introduce you to the specific vendor and the particulars of their technology that will aid in enhancing overall athletic performance. We will conclude with implementation recommendations and take a look at some projected results. While there are many factors that a team can use to evaluate success, one of the most critical is athletic performance. As athletes continue to grow and evolve, we now are beginning to look at how technology can come alongside the athlete in their preparation and execution to provide a competitive edge. Let's take a closer look at athletic performance. There are many different factors that can be considered when looking to define athletic performance. For the purposes of this presentation, we will be taking a three-pronged approach. The first prong is training and nutrition. It is important that both work hand in hand to provide an athlete the best chance at being successful. Injury prevention is key, as in order to achieve peak performance as a team, it requires your best players to be in the game. By decreasing and preventing injuries, performance output will increase. Finally, skill execution, or simply execution, will also be key. Having a feedback system in place can help ensure that execution remains high, but it is reliant on what can reasonably be seen. With these three items in mind, let's continue forward with our recommendation. The goal of this project is to provide a recommendation of a technology that will work alongside the Kansas City Chiefs Football Club and will push them from being a great team to becoming a Super Bowl winning team. To determine the best technology, let's take a moment to learn a little bit more about my client. The Kansas City Chiefs Football Club have a rich history within the NFL. Their founder, Lamar Hunt, played an integral role in the NFL we see today. The club started out in Texas, the home of the Hunt family. However, fierce competition led them to looking for a new city. They landed in Kansas City, Missouri, a place they still call home today. There are many strengths that this team already has, including an investment in technology that allows the team to better interact with their fans. This investment has led to a mobile app, mobile ticketing, and a deep production team that led to the creation of 65 Toss Power Trap Productions, a group that allows fans an in-depth look into the team very similar to HBO's Hard Knocks or Amazon Prime's All or Nothing. Of course, having the reigning NFL MVP will provide a team a great edge, especially when that MVP is leading a top-ranked offense. The final strength is the strength and conditioning team, generally thought of as one of the best in the NFL. The strength of this team was on full display when the Chiefs opened the season in Jacksonville, where they appeared to be better equipped to handle the Jacksonville Heat. For every strength, there are weaknesses, and there are three that this team struggles with. The first is the postseason success. While there have been playoff appearances, there has not been a high level of success, with many recent appearances leading to one-and-dones. This team also has a bottom-ranked defense and has struggled with penalty yards per game this season. All is not lost, however, as there are a couple key opportunities that this team has. The first is for the team to continue to build upon their comfort with technology, only this time applying that technology to the field and the team's athletic performance. There are also opportunities that surround the defense with new defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, as well as key additions including Tyrann Honey Badger Matthau and defensive end Frank Clark. The team should continue to monitor threats to their overall success. These include other clubs using like or similar technologies. For example, the Indianapolis Colts, under head coach Frank Reich, have taken to using analysts to help with game management and play calling by running algorithms that provide a chance for success on any given play. There is also competition within their division, with the resurgent Oakland Raiders leading that charge. And of course, within the AFC conference, there is always the strong New England Patriots team that stands in the way of achieving that ultimate goal. The recommendations made here today will focus on one key opportunity, and that is increasing investment in technology to provide better support to athletic performance through training and nutrition, enhancing injury prevention, and furthering developing skill execution. This presentation is being given to the team's core decision-making team, Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt, Team President Mark Donovan, Head Coach Andy Reid, and General Manager Brett Veach. While all four will comprise the decision-making unit, the primary decision-maker is Team President Mark Donovan. When we take a closer look at the impact this technology can have, there are two major groups that will be impacted. The first will be the players themselves, as they will have to adjust to things such as the collection of their personal health information, as well as having to wear the technology. The second group impacted would be the fans. It can be argued that the fans are the ultimate stakeholder. Having a better team will lead to increases in ticket sales, revenue sharing at away games, as well as an increase in merchandise sales. So we've spent a lot of time using technology as a term, but what technology really is the best option? With so many options available in today's world, it can be very easy to go with the newest fad. It can also become difficult to narrow down which specific technology or which mix of technologies will ultimately be that best option. This is where I come in. I've spent some time researching various technologies to determine what that best option is. Everything from smartwatches to technology-enhanced mouth guards were considered. When it came to settling on that one best option, the one technology that seemed to keep rising to the top were technologies that centered around GPS as a primary feature. These GPS technologies not only can relay positional data, but when combined with sensors can act as accelerometers, opening up a whole new set of data and information that can be collected and utilized. Additionally, the technology can also have specific algorithms written into its software that can monitor items such as athlete fatigue, specific events within a game, as well as repeat high-intensity events. So which technology can provide all of this? It's time to meet Catapult Sports. Catapult Sports is an Australian-based company that provide products in three areas: wearable technologies, athlete monitoring, and video analysis. While each area is strong enough to stand alone, taking advantage of their entire performance platform can maximize the results. Here, you can see an example of the products used within each area, from the wearables to the tracking devices and tools used to receive the data collected. Let's take a closer look at how this technology can impact our three areas of athletic performance. Let's start with training and nutrition. Typical training includes various mini camps and preseason activities that are geared towards getting players in the best shape possible in advance of an upcoming season. In-season preparation includes a focus on the upcoming opponent during practices. These activities rely heavily on what coaches observe and what players are willing to share with the coach about how they're feeling. Let's introduce Catapult into the training model. By incorporating the wearables, coaches can now receive real-time data in regards to how an athlete is progressing through practice and game scenarios. Thus, the primary benefit seen with this technology is the ability for coaches to monitor player load. A case example of this has been the University of Alabama football team. They have been using Catapult for a few years. Their head coach has said that the technology has allowed him to keep his team fresh during practice. Let's now take a look at the second prong, injury prevention and rehab. When a key player goes down due to injury, there is an impact on team performance. Depending on the severity of the injury, it can have long-lasting effects. Soft tissue injuries seem to linger and can impact a player for an entire season. Soft tissue injuries are usually preventable. Let's again introduce Catapult, but this time in the injury prevention space. Nate Burleson had a prolific career with the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions, although the last 2 years in Detroit were a little less than desirable. In an effort to end his career on a high note, he became a member of the Cleveland Browns. During a practice, he recalls a time when he was tapped on the shoulder and told by a coach he was done for the day. Still feeling good after what he considered a very strong practice, Burleson decided to continue to play. On the next route, he tore his hamstring, an injury that led to him being released. You see, his coach had told him he was done after seeing a report from Catapult's technology that Burleson had reached his maximum workload for the day. Had this report been heeded, the season may have looked a little different. This leads into another primary benefit seen with this technology, and that is simply a decrease in preventable injuries. Let's head back to college football for another case example. The Florida State University team attributes an astounding 88% decrease in soft tissue injury to the use of Catapult's workload reports, allowing their top athletes to be on the field longer. The third and final area we will look at is the skill execution, or again, execution. A team can have the best coaching and training staff, put the best plan together and provide it to the team. However, if the team doesn't execute that plan, it all goes to waste. Having this requires feedback from coaching staff to the athletes on missed opportunities. This can be difficult when players outnumber coaching staff, and so teams have traditionally turned to video analysis. This requires many hours of viewing and follow-ups by the coaches to ensure execution is happening. Let's again look at how Catapult can assist. Putting GPS technologies alongside the expertise of coaching staff can ensure that players are fully executing. How? By providing real-time data to coaches in an instant to allow for immediate feedback, saving valuable time that may have been spent in a film room. This is not to say that implementing this technology will completely remove the value that a film room can bring. Rather, it will provide an increased chance for higher execution during practice, allowing for maximum growth, which can lead to increased game performance. Let's sidestep for a minute and talk about dollars and cents. No team wants their stadium to look like this one on game day, but the simple truth is this: attendance is largely dependent on team performance. Major revenue drivers such as ticket sales and merchandise sales are directly tied to the product on the field. With operating costs for implementation being fairly low, with a one-time cost for purchase and an average of $100,000 per year for upgrades in analytics software, it only makes sense to capitalize on the benefits Catapult technology can provide. Recommendations for implementation of Catapult technology are as follows. Phase 1 is simply the purchase and procurement of the technology itself. The recommended timeline would be directly after a season has completed or around mid to late February. Phase 2 would be considered the training phase. Once the technology has been purchased, coaching staff as well as other team staff who will be utilizing and deploying the technology will need to be trained on all its features. As this time frame also coincides with the NFL draft, 2 months have been allocated to ensure a smooth integration. This prepares the team for Phase 3, which would be to select a pilot group of players to wear the technology through mini camps and training camp to allow for staff to begin to apply real-time data for their players and work out any kinks necessary to be ready for the fourth and final phase. Phase 4 is full implementation of the technology during preseason games to allow for game scenarios to be added to practice scenarios so that the technology is being used maximally by the time the new season kicks off in September. With technology, there are always concerns of security. In this instance, there is personal health information, and the concern of security is greater. Ensuring there are high security measures in place would be paramount. A way to mitigate this risk is to ensure all team members have responsibilities in using the technology or analyzing the data, receive training on how to prevent player PHI via HIPAA protocols. Additional security measures are put in place by Catapult to ensure the data being collected stays safe. This is added by the cloud services that are utilized in data storage. Depending on which platforms are used, data storage is handled by Amazon's AWS or is stored in the IBM cloud. In closing, athletic performance is considered one of the most critical elements of a professional team's evaluation, with attendance, aka revenue, being largely dependent on team performance. We discussed a lot of how Catapult can help, but not much on why. So here is why. Catapult has a proven track record in capitalizing on athletic performance. From keeping players fresh in Alabama to decreasing soft tissue injuries in Florida State, there is evidence of that track record. Catapult in Kansas City. Doesn't that just have a nice Super Bowl ring to it? Thank you so much for your time today. Here is my contact information should you have any questions or want to reach out for further information. References used to create content for this presentation included all of the following. Here are additional references used.